Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching us from. We are so grateful once again to come your way on The Teacher. I mean, we miss you so much, and we are so blessed this afternoon that God has made it possible for us to come and share a word with you. This afternoon, God gave my husband the opportunity to teach something in the church, and I was so blessed. And I said, why don't we share this with our friends, the friends of the teacher? So we are only here to share an idea. Maybe it will help you, maybe it will help a friend, maybe it will help somebody who depends on you. And so if you are a first timer here, this is The Teacher. The Teacher is about the word of God. It's about empowering ourselves. It's about developing our relationships. It's about how we can live in unity with our friends, with our loved ones, with our husband, with our children. The Teacher is basically the word of God that improves upon our lives. And so if you are here, or if you perchance jump on this video, it's not a mistake. Just hold on. You get something. And so please stay tuned as I welcome my one and only Dr. Dodoo to the program. Honey, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dodoo.
All right, this afternoon, I was blessed at church. Right. So I think that somebody else needs to hear this. So please, why don't you teach us what you taught us in the church this afternoon?
Yeah.
Just let us share a word or two.
Thank you very much. I think it is a blessing when we learn something in the Bible which we can apply in our everyday life. Mm-hmm. It helps us to live a better life.
Okay.
I was talking about the spirit, wisdom, and character of Abigail.
Wow.
So
I think you want to know what it is. Okay,
so Abigail is a name, and every name represents a behavior.
Okay.
Or an attitude. That's why people name their children based on what happened to them or what they stand for, what they signify. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes the names are bad, sometimes the names are good.
Okay.
Depending on whatever the person went through.
Okay.
So someone like Jabez because the mother was going through pain. So
mm-hmm.
name Jabez because it means pain.
Mm-hmm.
But we are talking about Abigail.
All right.
The story is found in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 25.
Okay.
When you read from verse 1 all the way to verse 44.
Okay.
Because of the short nature of our production, our video, we'll not be able to go through all, but
the Bible.
We'll look at the various important parts.
All right.
One thing I want to say is that the character of Abigail is a character that is like a smart person who is very intelligent. One thing Abigail had was wisdom. And the Bible says in the book of Proverbs chapter 18 verse 16 that a gift of a man will bring him before great men. Mm-hmm. So what does Abigail have, or what did she have? She had wisdom. And we are going to see how the wisdom of Abigail helped David not to kill Nabal and his descendants.
Okay.
Or his family.
Okay.
We know that David was going through a lot of trouble at that time. Mm-hmm. David had been anointed as king by Samuel the prophet. Mm-hmm. But the chapter started by saying that now Samuel died.
Wow.
So the one who anointed you, who gives you hope, is dead. So in other words, will this thing he said come to pass? If something you don't understand, you would like to go to him. The person is dead. So somebody you look up onto for courage, for strength in times of difficulty. When the person is not there, then you are down.
Yeah, it's true.
And we also went on to see that David, because of this grief, have to move from Carmel to Maon, or some places they translate it as Paran. Paran in the Bible is a stronghold, or Maon was a stronghold. It's a desert place. It's a wilderness, a cave. So he went back into his hiding. That was a very cave where David was when Saul was chasing him. Saul nearly got him, but then somebody came to Saul and told Saul that, the Philistines are attacking your family. So he nearly caught David. That was the same cave where David was hiding. So in this place, David went from Carmel to mourn because he was sad, he was dejected. So it's like in your life. Sometimes you call your 0 hour times of, difficulty, there's no hope.
Nothing is happening.
Nothing's happening in your life. You recall, or you come out of people. Carmel was a big city, a commercial city. A lot of activities were there. And we hear of a man called Nabal, a very rich man, who do live in Mawan, but he does business in Carmel, because Carmel is a big city. Carmel is the same place where Elijah called on the fire, and God consumed the altar and killed the prophets of Baal. It was the same place when the rain, there was famine, and he prayed, and God gave the rain. So that mountain called Carmel, or the city called Carmel, it stands for a place of hope. A place of, God hearing you, things are going well, prosperity, life is successful. That is where we call Carmel. But then for somebody to move from such a place
and say, I'm going to hide
in the desert, then just life of hopelessness. That was what David was going through. Now, when we fast forward the incident, we realize that certain things happen which we need to look at. When people look at you in your time of need and they don't see the potential in you, they make a mistake. But the wisdom of Abigail is someone who looks at the future, your potential, not of your today. Many young people are making that mistake today, especially when it comes to
choice of marriage. The women, we always look at, does he have a car? I used to have a friend, and then the mother will say, that is the first question. You bring any young man at home, the first question is, does he have a car? Does he have a job? What is he doing? But that's what we are doing today. We look at the persons today. We look at the kind of shoe he's wearing today, the kind of, now they think they have added beard or something like that. And so the wise ones are looking beyond, not today. So don't forget that.
So when you look at David after that time, David was the most wanted man. Saul was after David. David had no food. David had no money. In fact, he was a vagabond. He was a fugitive. And Nabal told this to David when he sent his servant to ask for money or for food. He told him, who is David? This fugitive who has left his master. Who is his father? Jesse. Look at nowadays these children, they don't even respect. Come and ask for food. But you see, Nabal had money, so money wasn't a problem.
He could have
given him. And Nabal was that evening going to make a party. So they had cooked. They had done a lot of things. But because David was nobody, people could not see him.
So how do you see somebody around you today?
But that is why we need the character of Abigail. That's why we need the wisdom of Abigail. The Abigails don't look at your today. They look at what you be. So when Abigail met David, Abigail told David, whatever God has said is going to happen to you. You are going to be a king. You called him my Lord when nobody even knew him as a Lord.
Lord who was hungry and being chased.
Abigail addressed David as my Lord.
As if he was already a king.
But that is what the Abigail sees beyond. These Abigails are smart people. That is why Nabal also married Abigail from Carmel. Abigail comes from Carmel. So when Nabal went to Carmel to do business, that's why he saw the attitude and the character, the service of Abigail, and realized that this woman is a very intelligent woman and married. So the kind of Abigail we are talking about are people who move from one stage to the other, and they always progress. One, because of his character and his wisdom, he was able to marry a rich one. And that rich man, that is not the end of the plan of Abigail. And he was also eyeing the position of the queen. The wife of a king. So when he realized that David has the potential, it's just a matter of time. Today, David is begging for food. But tomorrow he's going to be in the palace. Abigail said, no, I will take opportunity. And one thing we must know is that we must prepare. Because preparation, when done ahead of opportunity, it leads to success. But if opportunity comes and you are not prepared, then you're going to fail.
Like you're about to write an exam and you don't prepare.
That is what happened. So
Yeah.
in the case of Abigail realized that, look, what my master did by saying no to David is not a good one. So David was about to
What my
kill
husband did, Nabal.
what Nabal did. So Abigail quickly jumped in and swiftly took a decision. Sometimes we delay in decision making. The spirit of Abigail is decisive.
Okay.
Undecision or undecisiveness and or doubt, procrastination is not the character of Abigail. Immediately when the servant reported to Abigail that this is what our master has done, Abigail quickly gathered food because she had already prepared food. She gathered a lot of food and sent it ahead and asked the servant to take it ahead while she herself followed. And when she was on the donkey, when she met David, she didn't show herself as a rich woman, bossy woman. No, she came down as a sign of respect. Two, she bowed down at the feet of David, who was nobody then. That is the character of Abigail. That is the wisdom of Abigail. And Abigail reasoned with David and told David, oh yes, it's true. But don't mind my husband, because my husband is acting based on his name. The name is Nabal. Nabal means foolish. So the man considered him to be a foolish man. Sorry, when the servant came, I didn't see them. So please forgive me. Let this blame not be on my husband, but let it be on me. So she took, and these are people who are wise, and started explaining to David. Said, David, you know what? You have the power to kill Nabal and to do everything. But would that solve any problem? Would you want to shed blood? Please don't do that. It is food. Please, here's food for your children. I mean, for your servants. This is a wise woman.
Very
who was
smart.
able to advise David to take the right decision. Of course, David could have killed, but at the end, in the eyes of God, David would have erred.
Sinned against God.
Committed murder. Which at the end, David would pay
Now,
for.
I like one thing that you said, that even though Abigail was a wife, she stood in. She stood in for the husband. She said, you know what, let me take the blame for my husband. And that is, it takes many wise women to really do that. It takes very strong and wise and smart women to say that, you know what, let me just stand in for my husband. I mean, I love that.
This is exactly what Nabal saw, and I'm sure that's the reason why Nabal married Abigail. And David also saw, after their conversation, that such a woman, I needed to be my personal counselor.
Yeah.
I needed to be my advisor. There was somebody who can advise you wisely in time of anger. You know, when you are angry, we act before we think.
Yeah.
Because we are tempered, we
Based
are very
upon our
angry,
emotions.
our emotions. We want to act. David was about to wipe Nabal and his his family, but Abigail stood in and said, "Please, reason up.
Yeah.
Look at the situation. You have right. You protected the man in his property and everything. He insulted you, yes, but please
Forgive.
Look at the positive side. Look at this. Let me help you. I mean, let me stand it." So immediately Nabal died. David said, "This woman,
Go get her.
I'll get her." And that is how David married Abigail and added, her to his wives. So we want to end here by saying that the spirit of Abigail is somebody who looks beyond the now. Is a hardworking person. Somebody who prepares
ahead of time.
Sees
opportunities.
Wise, sees opportunities
And grab it.
And she's very humble. One other aspect of the story is that when David sent his servants to go and fetch Abigail after Nabal had died, when Abigail saw the servants, he quickly asked him to wait. And he quickly washed their feet. It's a sign of humility. Don't forget, Nabal is a rich man. Therefore, Abigail automatically is a rich woman. But then the fact that the servants have come from a long way and bringing her a good news that David is asking her to come and be his wife, that alone, Abigail came down and washed their feet. In other words, and that goes a long way to say that even the servants will always like her.
Yeah.
Will always, hey, our madam, please, this woman will wash my feet. I'm a common servant.
Yeah. For
this big woman or God's wife to wash my feet, everywhere they will always protect her. They will always like her. That is a wise woman. So that is what we want.
We don't use our position to bully people, and because, like you said, if David had said that go get her to be my wife, automatically she was a wife of David, because so she wouldn't have said, why should I watch myself? But then she She humbled herself even before the servant, and that is a wise. It takes only wisdom for somebody to overlook certain their positions, and humble themselves even before their so-called servants. So I really love what you are saying, and I hope you are being an Abigail in somebody's life. And if you see an Abigail, especially the young men, if you see an Abigail, you will definitely know. So thank you, Doc. I don't know whether you have something else to add.
I think this is okay for today. Okay. All we want to say is that try to be an Abigail in somebody's life. The Abigails advise you right to save you trouble. The Abigails protect you. They cover you up. Even when
you are fooling,
they try to take the blame and they cover you up. The Abigails will advise you so that you do the right thing. And they are humble. They are very serviceable. They are helpful.
Yes, always smart. I like the word smartness. And then in the church, you said something about the way they manage information. How do you manage information? When you hear something about somebody, how do you take it? How do you go about it? Do you allow bitterness and anger to go ahead of you, or you manage it in a way that is going to be beneficial to you, to your vision, to your dream, and to people around you, especially to your husband? And I am so glad that you're able to give us this stuff. Young woman that is in a marriage, what are you doing? What information are you getting? How are you managing this? Are you looking at the man, right? There's sometimes some of the girls, they will look at your shoes, they will look at the dust on your shoe, and they will just decide your fate. But sometimes you just have to go beyond today and see the person's future, because everybody has the potential to become somebody.
Yeah, just to add to what you just said concerning the information, we saw an incident play over there. In the heat of the case, Abigail didn't tell Nabal anything. One, Nabal was drunk.
Yeah.
So she realized that a drunk person, when I'm going to talk to the Bible, wouldn't say anything wise. Two, when Abigail was taking the food to David, she didn't inform Nabal, but Nabal had already rejected David. So she knew, when I go to my husband wouldn't agree. And that will cause even fight between the two of them. She wants to do the right thing. The husband will say no, and will prevent. By the end, all of them will be killed. So these are women who manage information. And third, when she waited till the night was over, when Nabal has come out of the drunkenness, now his eyes was clear. Then Abigail dramatized the case. He said, look, what you did, you were about to be wiped away. In fact, when Abigail finished the dramatization of the he got heart attack. He said how foolish I was. Oh God. He himself died. He heard that thing and just got that. So that is what we need, wives who are very, very smart, like the Abigails in our life, so that even we men will be protected. And these Abigails, they always end up in a palace. She was one of the top wives of David. Later on. But she picked David when David was nobody. That is the kind of Abigail. The friends who will stay with you in your lonely moments, in your sad moment, in the times that you are nobody, they are the very good ones. Not the people who come when everything is well done and you are rich. Rich men always have friends. But when you don't have anything, those who stick around, they are the ones who love you. They are the Abigails in your life. That is what Abigail did to David.
So we thank God for the spirit of Abigail. I know there are many Abigails out there who are watching us, who are listening to us. If you have not, then try and be an Abigail in your husband's life. There are also wives that are Nabal and husbands that are Abigail. So it's not just the women, but they can also play both sides. So we have to be smart people who seek opportunity, and when we see opportunity and grab it and work on it. So tonight we are grateful that you're able to stay up with us, and please share the video because somebody needs to hear this. I beg you, just share it. And we love you, and we always wish to come your way another time. So tonight, this has always been Dr. and Mrs. Dodoo, the teacher. God bless you. Have a lovely week. Bye bye.